Welcome to Respawning Fire, the Kick-Ass River Gaming Podcast. Is my microphone too loud? I don't know. Who has a microphone? Everyone has microphones because we're on a podcast. Welcome, everyone. This is the Kick-Ass River Gaming Podcast brought to you by Affable Idiots. I'm one of your hosts, Too Loud Chad. We also got one of our other hosts over here. We got Adam. Are you loud enough? I can't hear you, Gumber.
Yeah. Now you can watch those videos and understand the
So
reference.
I was told now at this point in the show that I'm supposed to watch some videos. Hold on, I'm watching this now. I had to turn the sound on.
Yeah, first one first, second one second.
Okay, I see it. Yeah. This guy's got a mohawk mullet. Okay, and he's just walking around like a fucking like a xenomorph from Alien, going yeah, like that. All right, hold on. Now I gotta watch the second one. Hold on. These things always start with the audio down. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Yeah. By the way, so it's Tama Tonga. He's a wrestler in WWE, and he just says that weird thing, and everyone's into it now. They're like, I don't know why this weird dude says yeah a bunch, but it's funny. So it's a good time.
Tachanka. Welcome. Also, we've got you're in the timeout corner, Alex. Yeah, Cosina.
You sound like our Subaru driving to the cottage this weekend. The old Subaru, it's 17, approaching 18 years old, driving 30 minutes, starts making a noise. It's like, gotta take it to the garage again. Such is the fate of a 17-year-old lesbian car Subaru.
Hey, we need to get back in that garage again. You can get in the garage over here on twitch.tv/Affable Idiots on Sunday evenings, usually at around 8:30 Eastern time. We are doing it right now on a Monday. And you can catch us on demand on YouTube and podcast services Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Cozy, I just realized you volunteered to edit these episodes. Are you prepared to have them up by tomorrow morning?
I volunteered to edit the barf episode.
I'm not going to edit one and not the other because I can knock them both out really quickly at the same time. Or you think on that for a second while I tell everyone about what we got coming up on the podcast. We got some Halo news. We got a movie that Chad saw twice over the weekend because it was so good that I didn't put in my playtime thing that I'm going to talk about. And then some other shit we're going to do. We got some returning TMI shit. We got aliens. We got all sorts of good yums. But we're going to start with the yummiest of them all, the main quest. Halo takes a new direction. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. Halo developer 343 Industries has rebranded as Halo Studios. Ooh, and announced that it is working on multiple Halo games developed with Unreal Engine 5. The news was shared during Sunday's Halo World Championship tournament, in which it debuted a video showing a technical test of various Halo-themed locations running within Unreal. And the studio stressed that the footage shown isn't a game, but a glimpse of what it might be able to achieve within UE5. Halo Infinite was developed using 343's own Slipspace engine, which was partly blamed for the game's last-minute, year-long delay and sluggish rollout of post-release content. Discussing Sunday's announcements, Halo Studios head Pierre Hintze. You all can't see Joel because Joel is not visible to the audience, but he has a Master Chief helmet right now that he's holding in front of his face and smiling and fondling. And there we go. Adam's got one with a bucket hat on it that's blinding the earth. But you'll never guess what Pierre Hintze said. He suggested that the switch to Unreal will help to solve some of those issues. In a quote, he says, "One of the primary things we're interested in is growing and expanding our world so players have more to interact with and more to experience. Nanite and Lumen, which are Unreal's rendering and lighting technologies, offer us an opportunity to do that in a way that the industry hasn't seen before. As artists, it's incredibly exciting to do that work." My question for you all.
He also said, after that quote, he said, "And I'm off to go and eat some mortadella sandwich. Thank you. I'm off to Calabria." Because he's actually Italian.
What do you think the games that are in development are? And do you think this is a good move for them? Also, will this brand new engine allow for things like, what was the name of that brute? Greg? The brute.
I think
For
Greg.
Halo
It
Infinite?
was a very common
Greg?
name.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is that even going to be possible, or are we going to lose things like that forever?
Yeah, he's gone forever. I'm sorry, Chad.
No, I would say it's probably a good thing overall because I know a lot of studios have issues like making. Like, I know early on, like, Frostbite gave EA Studios a lot of issues, and they seem like they're past it now, but it took a long time. So, UE5 makes sense. A lot of people can use it. You can hire basically anybody to use it, that are developers, because they basically all know how to use Unreal Engine. And less time maintaining an engine means more time just, like, making a video game, I would assume is how it works, if you don't have to build the car, if you're just driving the car. So, I think it's probably good overall, and they need to do something because... Infinite has come around and people are more, they've done stuff and it's been cool and interesting, but it was such a rough launch. I don't think you ever want to go through that again. So if this helps and it looks gorgeous, seems like a win-win to me.
Yeah. This is the story of 343 Industries, now Halo Studios, over the past few years has certainly been interesting. We in recent years, we've really kind of come to bemoan how long it takes for AAA games to develop, how long the turnarounds are on these big projects. But 343 Industries, I think, has taken the right path amidst all their controversies and failed projects, which is we're going to tortoise in the hair of this. We're going to take our time and figure out the right solution out of this predicament we're in by just making slow, progressive steps towards a better future. We're not going to come out on the E3 stage and be like, we have exciting, cool new things coming for the Halo universe. We're going to just remain completely silent and just silently work towards making the future of Halo as good as possible, and only really sharing information like this when we're really ready. I think it's a good thing that they did not, as much as we all would have wished them to have talked about like an Unreal Engine 5 remake of the first Halo or things like that. I think it's a good thing they did not announce this stuff in this video.
Plus, the screens are gorgeous. I know Joel's got them going on in the background. Obviously, it's not like the real game, but it's like, yeah, that's a good engine, huh? Shit looks real nice and shiny.
Yeah.
The motion isn't just in the first 1 minute of the game. It'll probably be motion for the whole game, which is a big plus. So, yeah, good on them.
It's a real common practice for developers when they're switching to a new platform, like maybe a new generation, or when they are switching engines, to kind of experiment and play around with a previous game that they've created in that new engine. I know a lot of times you'll see remasters of like Naughty Dog games is like, we're going to put out a remaster of our last game just as a way to learn the new system and its idiosyncrasies and all these kinds of weird things and quirks, so that when we develop a new game from scratch for it, like we're set up for success. So I'm assuming we've heard rumblings of a remake of Halo 1 Combat Evolved, even though that one got the anniversary edition, what is that, 10 years ago now? Something like that?
It's like 15 years ago, Chad.
Was it really? Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I'm almost dead. I'm would bet money on the fact that that's one of these games that they announced are in development right now for Unreal Engine 5. It's just, let's remake the first one, see how close we can get it to feeling like the original in this brand new engine, as a way to learn how we might make future Halo games in the same way.
So that is actually something I am curious in asking the two of you. If we were to get a new version of the original Halo remade in Unreal Engine 5, would you want it to just be Anniversary Edition up-resed with Unreal Engine 5 tech, or would you want them to go in and like really rework the design of the game? Because I, a couple of years ago, did the thing that like we all often talk about, but so seldomly find the time to do, which is I went and played through every mainline Halo game in order. And with Halo 1, it was the thing where it's like, I can definitely see in spots why this game was as beloved as it was back in the day. There are some great ideas at play here, but a lot of the level design a little bit dated, especially when they have you replay through the same level backwards like 3 times. And I'm curious, do you think that they should be like, all right, let's take a Dead Space remake approach to this and actually really rework this, or do we just keep it as is?
I think they should just do 3, because we got here's the thing, is that like 1 came out in 2001, right? 2001, 2002. Yeah. It's so old, like nobody cares. I mean, that's cool that they kept it around as like a piece of like preservation and they gave an updated version, but I don't need them to try to rework Halo 1 so it feels modern, because like it's Halo 1. It doesn't matter. because we got a 1 and we got a 2 anniversary edition. So if you give us like a 3 anniversary in Unreal 5, I think that would be. You could do whatever you wanted.
Now. Metal Gear Solid Delta remake.
Yeah, I think that'd be more interesting than just redoing 1 for the second time. Why don't you give us a remake of 3 for the first time in a new engine? That's just for me personally, because like my son and his friends are not going to go fucking play Halo 1 remake. They don't care. But Halo 3, maybe. That feels fun. I don't know.
I can see it. I mean, Halo 3, like, it felt for a very long time like people unanimously crowded around, what was it, Reach as the best Halo game, and then it feels more recently that everyone has turned to Halo 3 as, no, that was actually the best one. The hype leading up to it, the delivery of that title was unprecedented, and I can definitely see your logic there. I'm interested. Definitely interested.
Yeah. Cool shit. Well, more to see from Halo Studios in the future. For now, let's turn our attention to playtime. Where we talk about what we played. I almost went into like the game on game show type rhythm, but then I was like, we don't say it that much about playtime. There's not enough to fill that whole thing out. So let's talk about what we played this time. Cozy, you're still on timeout. So Adam, what did you play?
Cozy on time. That's good. So I played. One thing worth of note is that I played and reviewed Rogue Waters, which is that review is now up on the YouTube channel right now.
Waters receded.
Yep. Rogue Waters is a roguelike strategy pirate game. That's just pretty cool because you have like your little grid-based battles, but whenever you board a ship, it's a ship-to-ship combat first, and then you board the ship, and you can like blow up the ship as you get on it, and you have the Kraken, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff. So I have a review of that with Mateo from Great Game Debate. That video is up now on the YouTube channel, so check out that review. And it was a fun time. Really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, game with pirates, let's go. I'm here. So
y'all
I enjoyed
know
that.
Pirates and what's the other one? Cowboys. That's right.
Yeah, good time. So yeah, Rogue Waters. And I was looking at the Metacritic. It's like an 82, 83. So it's also like pretty good game as well. So
all right,
give that video a check out. And if the video review is interesting you, go check the game out.
Dope. Cozy, you're still in timeout, so I'll talk next.
I don't even have that much to talk about, by the way.
D2, more Destiny 2, trying to do some cleanup before the new season drops in like 12 hours. So cleaned up almost everything that we could have. There was one last thing to get rank 11 before the end of the season. Would have lasted me the whole next season. I would have been rank 11 if I could have just beat the Witness on master difficulty.
Thought you were a gamer.
I couldn't get 5 other gamers together. I got Audrey.
There's still time, Chad.
If Cozy edits the podcast tonight, then yeah, there is still time tonight.
There you go.
There's still time.
There's still time.
I could be convinced.
I could be convinced. He wants to do it.
Well, the other problem is like, if we're wanting to do master difficulty Witness like Titans, that's not the meta right now.
Why don't you just pay a guy from China $20 to do it for you?
Yeah, because rank 11 is not that important to me. So we'll see. Yeah.
It's important enough for you to bitch on the podcast every week.
Listen, I reserve the right to bitch because I am a co-founder of this podcast. I was told. Anyway, so let's go. Playing D2. Also, Black Myth Wukong, I am on my path to platinuming it, and I have now done everything that I think I can do before I start New Game Plus. I even beat the secret boss, and holy poops, if you are playing Black Myth Wukong, and you beat the game, and then you're like, that was really, really dope. I'm going to hit New Game Plus. Don't yet. Go fight the secret boss, and do the final secret cool fight, and then see all of that shit, because that is cinematic as fuck. It reminded me of some of the fights in like Final Fantasy 16. It was just dope. That game is so good. So yeah, I've cleaned up I think everything that I can before I start New Game Plus, where I have to get my last couple of bosses that I missed the first time, clean up some of the, get enough currency to get all the armor and magic and all that kind of shit. So still loving Black Myth Wukong. Gears of Wednesdays. Matt and I have officially beat, what are we playing? Gears of War 2. And up until the end of that game, and all the way through the end of that game, that's a bad game. It's not a fun game. And it is just 1,000 different vehicles in different shapes and sizes where you are just holding the trigger for a long time, pointing it at something and then you let go of the trigger while you wait for the gun to cool down a little bit. And then you point the trigger at something else again. And the shape of the vehicle changes from a little boat to a big boat, to a barge, to a big mechanical thing going through the countryside, to then there's a little tank that you're driving on ice, to then a fucking, what is it, the fucking flying things, and then a big giant fucking ogre looking shit. It's just like, it's not fun. That whole last chapter, especially, Matt was just like, this is rough. This is not fun. So yeah, Gears of War 2, now I understand why I never finished it, which makes sense for why I never started 3. So I'm excited to start 3 because Joel keeps saying it is the fucking best of them, and it's 4-player. So now all we got to do is wait for Dallas and Joel to beat Gears of War 2, so that Gears of Wednesdays, we can move on to 3 all together as a group. So I'm pumped for that.
You know what's funny?
And
I was looking up the scores for those games, and 2 is like a 93 on Metacritic. So people must have loved it back in the day.
It is booty.
We've talked about this on a prior episode, but like Gears of War 2 has had such an interesting life where I feel like there's a very long period of time where people were like, yeah, Gears of War 2 didn't really feel like they managed to hit the same heights as Gears of War 1. And it feels like in the modern era, people have really come around to really loving 2 all over again.
But no, based on these scores back then, people liked it. If it scored a 93 on Metacritic from reviewers at the time, that means it was liked back then.
I mean, it seems like it's kind of a bell curve situation where it got great reviews, people were kind of iffy on it, and then they've come around to being like, actually, yeah, it is great.
Yeah, well, we know how your Twitter algorithm works, so yeah.
And then the last one here is actually just a movie that I saw twice this weekend because it was so freaking good. And it's called My Old Ass.
Oh.
My Old Ass.
Wow.
It is a movie about a teenage girl who takes mushrooms, and Aubrey Plaza is her future self and shows up while she's tripping on mushrooms and gives her some advice. And then it's a very, 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 very good movie. So highly recommend seeing it.
I also saw Megalopolis.
Cozy, if you can be a good boy, I'll let you come out of timeout and talk about what you played.
So, of course, I played the seminal video game, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Beat and platinumed it. I officially am the owner of the Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Platinum on PlayStation 5. Not very hard to get. I didn't have to play all that much. I just had to beat the really annoying Plumbing the Depths mode that they included in the definitive edition. That's really annoying to complete, but also doesn't take that much time. You can hear me rant and rave and review this game on our Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Barf episode, which, to break the fourth wall, we recorded just before we did this episode right here, but which will appear on your podcast services and YouTube very soon. I've also been playing.
Don't bring it up. I can't. Yeah, I can't watch any more of this game.
I'm the guy who trumped for this game, and you don't need to show any more of it. It's okay.
Let him know.
Let it go.
Let him see his sins. Put it up there.
And I also have been playing more of The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I don't have too much to share about the game right here, right now. Have not beaten it yet, but have made substantial progress since I last talked about it last week. This game is interesting because, like, as I play through it, it is impossible for me in my head not to compare this game to A Link to the Past, a seminal game that, really, was on my timeline of like enjoying and appreciating video games as an art form, a game that really kind of ranks high, that definitely looms large. And this is a game that takes place in basically the exact same overworld as that game, just expanded. And as I'm playing through the game, it's impossible at every turn not to compare the two titles, not to be like, oh man, I kind of feel like I liked this game's world better when it was in A Link to the Past. And yet, I'll be saying that and I'll be like, man, my bladder is really overflowing with piss. My ass is really numb. As much as I'm like, oh man, I kind of slightly prefer A Link to the Past over this game, I can't stop playing this game. So I want to see this game through to the end. I want to see this game through to the end before I give my final definitive thoughts on it. But yeah, I am continuing to play it, and that's as much as I'll say for now.
Cozy, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is it true that you can literally use the bed to solve like all the puzzles in the game?
No, and that's something that we actually... That's right, you were not here for the last episode we did, right?
I don't
Joel?
remember. I don't remember.
Okay, you probably weren't. Well, that's something that I talked about on that episode is going into this game, I was like, it kind of seems like you're going to be... I was like, not 100% looking forward to this game, because based on what we had seen of this game in trailers, it kind of seemed like the kind of game where it would be easy to cheese a lot of the puzzles by just spamming the same item over and over again, like the bed. And here's what I'll say. The bed is a useful item, but you definitely cannot solve every puzzle with the bed. There are situations, puzzles, scenarios that you'll find yourself in where you'll have to use a wide variety of other items. And eventually you get items that pretty much entirely outmode the bed, but you do have situations where using the bed is still pretty convenient. So the bed is a useful item, but you definitely can't solve every item, every puzzle in the game with it.
That bed, Joel.
Joel is
Any
just
other games you played aside from
stupefied.
Gears
He
of
doesn't-
Wednesdays?
He can't believe me when I say that the bed isn't as great as it is.
No, I just saw a bunch of TikToks where people were saying that the bed kind of breaks the laws of physics and you can make these bridges to get pretty much anywhere.
You can, but like you have a limited number of items you can get to. I'll talk more about this when I do my final review of the game probably next week. It's not that bad.
Bed is OP. Speaking of OP, y'all ever seen a xenomorph? Love to see a dead body.
Yes.
New inspiration going into our quest log. New inspiration for an alien movie incoming from Tom Ivan at VGC. Sega has revealed that it is working on an Alien Isolation sequel. The announcement was made on Monday to coincide with the 10th anniversary of the original game's release. Jesus, that game is 10 years old. The sequel is in early development at Creative Assembly, and according to the studio creative director Al Hope, who also directed Alien Isolation. Here's a quote. On the 10th anniversary, it seems only fitting to let you know that we have heard your distress calls loud and clear. Today, I'm delighted to confirm on behalf of the team that a sequel to Alien Isolation is in early development. We look forward to sharing more details with you when we're ready. Ooh, Xenomorphs, baby. This was a barf game not too long ago, actually. And
I did not participate in that one. Was it good?
Oh, it was a good selection of a barf game. I know it's crazy to think, but yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was, I enjoyed this game. I don't think I finished the game. I enjoyed it a lot, but I think the biggest criticism I had of it was probably the robots. There was so much of like avoiding these robots. I just wanted it to be about aliens, and then there were robots like following you everywhere and spying on you and being peeping toms and killing you, choking you, stomping on you to death. And yeah, so hopefully when they say they've heard our distress calls, hopefully it's like you also heard that like maybe just put more aliens in it and less robots. But this does get me excited, and I also this is a little bit controversial, but I would also like this Alien Isolation game in VR. I think this would be really fun and scary and creepy and spooky in VR.
Will VR
maybe we'll put
still
that out in the
exist
world
when this game comes out 6 years from now?
PlayStation VR will not exist, but there will be VR options.
Mark Zuckerberg will not let it die. There is an Alien VR game coming out this month, Chad?
There is, isn't there? Yeah.
You can get on that. A funny thing, I'm looking up Creative Assembly on Wikipedia, it's a really cool studio. They have, since Alien Isolation came out in 2014, they have made like 10 games since then. They're all Total War games. One of them is Halo Wars 2. And they were working on the Hyenas game that got canceled. So, shout out. I mean, Creative Assembly, they make good strategy, like tactic, real-time RTS games, so that's not a knock against them. But it will be cool to see a different genre of game come back since they've been stuck doing Total War. Stuck making successful games for the last 10 years, but it'll be cool to see them go back to something else. So
I will say, like, all jokes aside, when Alien Romulus released not too long ago, people were sharing a lot of their thoughts on the other Alien movies. Lots of people being like, oh man, Prometheus not as bad as people say it was. Another sentiment I saw being shared a lot of people being like, man, Alien Isolation is great. Saw a lot of people like sharing a timeline of the Alien movies that included Alien Isolation in it as like the only Alien video game, even though there have been many, many Alien video games over the years.
Alien Isolation is canon in the new movie. Like there are parts there are things from the game that are referenced in the movie.
Right. But it is also a thing where like they could very easily exclude it if the game was doo-doo. But it really seems people really, really, really do love this game. So good on them for getting a sequel.
Yeah, that's why I did title this as a new inspiration for an Alien movie, because Fede Alvarez was like, oh yeah, I played Alien Isolation, I loved it, and that's why that game is canon, because he's like, the feeling I had for Isolation, I want to make that into a movie, which is why there are Easter eggs and why it kind of harkens back to that game. So when the second one comes out, he'll make another movie based on the second video game. I don't know, I'm just joking around, but shout out to that game for being influential, because Romulus, very good.
Romulus. All right, that brings us then into our segment from Adam, our segment from Adam, a segment from Adam, a segment from Adam. Jared Petty.
There he is. All right, this is with a heavy heart. We're having a segment from Adam this week.
Uh-oh.
We just did Plumbers Don't Wear Ties as our barf game for the month. And, I mean, go listen to the barf episode, but literally holy shit, what happened? And I've decided to do some research. By the way, Joel, you don't have to speak a lot, but you are the one person on the jury right now. Chad is a prosecutor. Cozy's defendant. I'm the judge. Cozy's going on trial. Oh, excuse me. Barf is going on trial. Based on, I did some research, the last year worth of picks, we're going to go on and see who is the best at picking barf games. And maybe some people should be punished for their barf choices. We'll see after the trial is over for the next 15 minutes, but there could be a punishment at the end of this. So, by the way, yeah, Cozy, by the way, you're in a courtroom and you're on trial. Chad is prosecuting. Joel's the jury. I am the judge. Just for no particular reason, I thought this would be fun to look back and see who chose the games and whatever. No particular reason at all. Not because maybe some of them are extremely bad. Chose my one person.
Hold on,
I will say,
quick question. Are you going to disclose who submitted what games?
Yeah, I've got all the information.
No. I would prefer if you did not disclose who submitted what games.
So
that is actually better.
Yes,
that is actually better.
Because I don't necessarily know who suggested what games. I mean, I know the worst game now.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I'll bring up each game and we can be like,
who suggested
how do we
what?
feel how this is? Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And I'll make my judgment based on that. Now, I will say at the top, this is for fun. Maybe it's very true. The one thing that is the wrench in the machine with the monkey put his hand in, is that we every month for Barf, and it's a backlog game. We're like, here are 4 games we want to play, and we let people vote on them. So kind of it's the picker's fault, and kind of it's the audience's fault for voting for bad video games as well. But they're not here on trial. It's only the people here. So yeah, I'll do what Joel said. I'm going to just go down a list of games. And we'll be like, how do we feel about that review? How do we feel about that game? And then we can determine who's guilty for being bad.
Adam, I would push back against that and say that, imagine there's a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a person holding a gun to your head.
Yeah.
And they say, you have to kill one of these 4 people in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who you kill, but you have to kill one of them.
Yeah.
Who's at fault? The person holding the gun or the person who has to kill the one of the 4 people in front of them?
In a court of law, it would be the person who made them do it.
Exactly. Cozy's at fault.
Yeah, that's fine.
The people voted on 1 out of 4, but Cozy held the gun to their head.
This over
I'm not making
guys.
it the voters' fault.
I'm already doing my prosecution.
Yeah, no, you've got it. All right, so first
statements.
up, these are just go random. I'm not telling you who did them. First game up, Hellblade. Tenuous Sacrifice. We played the Hellblade game. It was right before the second one came out. I feel like that was a very good game. It was a perfect way to, do a podcast leading into a big release. For me, that's a thumbs up. What does the prosecution say about Hellblade as a selection? You're the jury, Joel.
The prosecution, in an effort to be unbiased, says that was an excellent choice. There's no way during the selection process that whoever chose this game could have known that Hellblade 2 was not going to be as banger as everyone wanted it to be. So I'd say Hellblade 2, not guilty.
Okay. Do you have anything to say, defendant?
Hellblade 2, as
we're not
Chad
talking about Hellblade 2, we're
alluded
talking about Hellblade 1.
Hellblade 1 was a fine time.
Oh, you just think it's a fine selection as a barf game?
Yeah. Why am I? Why are you questioning me so much?
I'm the
Ask
judge. That's
other
my
people.
job, is to ask questions. Okay, I hear that. You take that into consideration, jury. Next up, Signalis. Signalis is a horror game akin to like a throwback of a Resident Evil. Played that earlier this year. I will say, as a judge, pretty fun game. I enjoyed it. Was a surprise. Didn't know much about it. Played it. Had a good time. Defend it. What do you have to say about Signalis?
Genuinely great game. Fantastic puzzles. A really spirally, twisty story that I'm still parsing through that really left an impact on me.
Chat.
This game was a short game, which everyone knows is like part of the recipe for a wonderful barf game, with a cool art style and some interesting things going on. Not guilty. I don't think I know how a courtroom works.
So what I'm doing is I'm going to go. What are we kind of agreeing what's good and which ones were bad games? Is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Joel, how do you feel? Yeah. You weren't around for Signalis, were you?
No, never played it. Never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it. I have no idea what it is.
Okay,
Indifferent.
Sounds good enough. Here we go. Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I will say, very surprised. The beginning, slow as shit. Don't know why that second chapter is so goddamn long. Rest of the game, I fucking adored. This is a big plus for Adam. Chad?
As the prosecutor in this case, I would say while this game did not turn out to be what we all wanted it to be, I think there's a lot of merit here. It also stoked a curiosity that we all wanted to find out, and I think there was merit to us playing it. So, not guilty.
Cozy.
This game is the ultimate example of a game in recent memory that I really, really wish got a modern reimagining / remake / at least just a remaster with a modern control scheme, because this game punches way above its weight limit, but it isn't perfect.
Based on those arguments, Joel, how do you feel about that? Good game or no?
I think good game. I'm going to go yes. Good game.
I appreciate it. Very cool. Next up, Kerbal Space Program. Chad, tell us a story about that game.
This is the most illegal game. This is false advertising. I was led to believe by this game that it was a Joseph Gordon-Levitt art program to steal art from children to profit fucking good Beyond Good and Evil 2. And then I go on to learn after buying the game that it's not even a game I'm interested in or want to play, and then I don't even play it or show up to the review. This game is guilty as fuck.
Cozy, how do you feel about Kerbal Space Program?
Kerbal Space Program features some incredibly nerdy-ass systems that I can understand why some people devote their entire life and existence on this mortal coil to, but I found it a little bit inscrutable, to be honest.
Jury, what does that sound like to you? Good game or bad game?
Sounds like a good game to me.
What? That's what you got out of those arguments? You know what's actually crazy is that isn't a judge allowed to overrule a jury? Is that a thing or no? Someone look that up for me, because I'm maybe putting this down as a bad video game.
Quick timeout.
My audio completely cut out, and all I heard is, Jury,
Okay,
what do you
don't worry
think?
about it. Yeah, okay, you're good. What's up, Cozy?
Because we're not fully through the year, do you have an equal number of games for the three of us?
Yup.
Or are you just doing... Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Got that ass.
9 months, 9 games. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Papa John's.
Absolutely, we're there. Next up, we're going to do Minish Cap. Joel, you were around for this one. I'll let these two get their arguments. How do you guys feel about Minish Cap? I didn't play it because I don't own a system to play it on, but it looked neat. I just think they're neat, or whatever Marge says. So that's up to you two to argue if this game was good or not. I don't know. Cozy, you can start, I suppose. Yeah, you like Zelda, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this game is a classic. It was great to be able to replay it. Obviously, there are certain ways in which the game is, not as modern as you wish a game to be in the year 2024, but otherwise still a great time.
Even the defendant has admitted this game was an excellent choice for a barf game during the review of it, and they are glad they played it. Innocent as fuck.
Okay. Joel, you were actually around for this one. Did you find this game interesting?
Yeah, so I haven't played many Zelda games that I enjoyed, but what I did play of this I did like, so I will say, yeah, good game.
The best part about this episode was that I had no idea Joel was actively playing the game in like the background
Yeah.
to like show on the screen. I was like, whose gameplay is this? It's like, it just keeps going. What's going on? What video is this? Oh, Joel was just playing. That was pretty funny to me. I was unaware. Next up, Brawlhalla, which is a platform free-to-play fighter game. Chad.
What makes a good barf game? Is it short?
What makes a good game?
Is it free? Is it accessible to everyone so that anyone can participate? Does it have your favorite arbiters and characters in it from other games aside from Halo?
That costs $14
Does it
a
have
pop.
the energy sword? Does it have the energy sword in it? This game is maybe the epitome of what a good barf game is, that you can accomplish in a very short amount of time, get an idea of, and play with friends and energy swords. I rest my case.
Cozy,
No
how'd you
further
feel about
questions.
that game?
I thought this game was completely whatever. I appreciated the fact that it was free.
Okay. Joel, based on those amazing arguments.
Free games are good games in my mind. Unless Plumbers Wear Ties was free, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is free, then that is a bad game, free or not free. They could pay me, and I would still say Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a bad game. But yeah, I would say Brawlhalla, good game. Probably a lot more fun with people to play with.
I will agree. Brawlhalla is a fine game. As an episode, it was whatever. I'm going to put that one in the middle. Just because I don't want Chad to get his britches too high. Next up, Tomb Raider 2014. Chad.
This game empowers women, kill animals, which are overrunning the planet. You can the highest concentration of methane in our atmosphere contributing to global warming is cow farts. So anytime that we can kill animals in video games, I think that it is positive, and it kicked off. You know, you need competition in life for things to be good. Whenever there's no competition in capitalism, people rest on their laurels, and you don't get good things anymore. So I'm glad that we played this game to support a trilogy that is going on to challenge the likes of Uncharted, and now this Indiana Jones game that we're getting very soon. I say good game.
Cozy. Yeah,
Innocent.
Cozy, how do you feel about Tomb Raider 2014?
Tomb Raider 2013, while flawed in a lot of ways, presented an interesting alternate timeline under which games like Uncharted could have gone under. There's a lot of things that I still appreciate and love about it, despite its flaws being ever so apparent a decade onward.
I like when Laura gets impaled. It's pretty wild. Joel, you like Tomb Raider 2014 or no?
Yeah, good game.
2013.
2014 is one we played.
Yeah, we played the definitive hair edition.
Yeah, we played one with hair. All right,
Definitive
very
hair.
cool. We only have 2 games left on here down for judgment. First up, Dave the Diver. I'll say whoever picked this must be a smart, handsome person. Very fun game. I enjoyed the... Nope. I enjoyed the management and the roguelike stuff. Had a fun little story. Good game, I would say. Chad.
I blacked out. Didn't play this
Chad
game.
didn't
Blacked
play
out.
this game. That's
I
right.
can't be impartial. I did play this game for like 12 minutes, and I said, I am not going to like this.
I will
And
say
they're
your
done.
friend Jerica loves it.
She does. My friend Joel loves it.
Yeah. Cozy.
This game is great. I think it's an incredible accomplishment that this game has a new minigame literally every 2 seconds, and every single minigame is surprisingly awesome. Normally that would be a recipe for disaster in a game like this, but somehow Dave the Diver pulls it off and is also a great diving comedy fish sushi simulation game.
Joel, what's your verdict?
Aside from the fact that I love this game, I think that Chad gave a very poor argument as to why it's a bad game, other than saying I played a few minutes of this and said that I do not like this. Good game.
So it's a good game, but Chad has a negative against him for being wrong. All right, very cool. Next, and definitely last and least, excuse me, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Definitive remaster. Chad, I will let you open this up.
We are all 90 minutes closer to death because of this game. This has taken literal time off of our lives. We have missed seeing our kids grow up. We have neglected our pets. We have supported racist, misogynist, sexually abusive material monetarily and by promoting it on our profiles with platinum trophies. Not only is this game a travesty that it exists, but it is a travesty that we are promoting it with such discussion as well. And we have forced not only 90 minutes of gameplay, but we have forced almost an hour of a review conversation about it, and now a whole segment devoted to taking Cozy down via this game. We are giving this game too much promotion as it is right now, and for that, we will forever burn in hell. We should save the rest of the world by letting them know this is a terrible, maybe the worst game of all time.
Your Honor,
Excuse
Chad
me.
said that we're 90 minutes closer
Sustained.
to death. But in the bar review, he said that he watched a 30-minute long video.
I
don't
watched a
think that Chad has his
45-minute
facts correct.
long objection.
It's still incorrect.
What-
Misaligned with what
I will
you
hold you
said
in
about
contempt of
this.
court. Do not piss me off. By the way, people, thanks CJDNB for rating us. We are in the middle of, we played Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, and
Yes.
we're taking Cozy to court on trial for making us potentially play the worst
It's
game of all
anonymous.
time.
We don't know who picked this game.
Whoever did it. Yeah, we don't know who did it.
Whoever picked this game for us to play.
Cozy, do you have a defense of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties and why we might have wasted our time? 90 to 45 minutes of our lives playing that video game.
It's an interesting cultural artifact. Unfortunately, I don't think that the definitive edition itself of the game is all that great. I think that there are a lot of weird extras included in the definitive edition that honestly feel like padding. I think that the game itself is definitely worth experiencing at least once just to say that
Objection.
you experienced it.
False information.
But I actually don't think that even the definitive edition itself is all that great, and it definitely is just way too overpriced at $26 odd. So that's my thoughts on it.
Okay. Jury, how do you find this game, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, in our court of gaming law?
As the jury, we the people have decided that whoever suggested this game, they could have suggested whoever it was, it could have been any three of you, they could have suggested some of the best games ever created before this. But this is the one crime that you will be sentenced to die. It doesn't matter what other crimes you committed. This is the one that is going to put you in jail for the rest of your life.
I'll take that
As
into
we talked
consideration.
about on the
Excuse
Bar
me,
Review
sir.
episode,
Bailiff?
we played quite a few other games for people to choose from, and this is the game that they chose. So
Yeah, like Chad said, if you give someone a gun and say you have to kill one of these four people, is it your fault or the person you forced to do the killing?
Yep.
more people individually voted
answer the
for us to
question.
play this game on Patreon than there were people that voted to vote on the next two games that we're going to be playing.
Oh, so if you kill someone but you're popular, it's okay.
Well,
What I'm saying is, I don't even know. I'm trying to think. I watched Megalopolis this past week. I'm trying to think if there's like something I can quote from that movie to get me out of this.
Go to the club.
Yeah, that's not even. By the way, that's not even like in the top 10 craziest shit.
Oh,
that
I'm sure.
happens
I
in
have
that
no
movie.
interest in ever watching it, but that's wild. Okay, so
Definitely watch that as well. Do a
based-
double feature. Watch Megalopolis and then play Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
kill yourself first. I will-
there's some law
Go ahead, Jay.
against, I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but there's some law against like actively giving people false information that leads to their death, right? Like
Yeah, it's like one
if you're telling
endangerment
people
or
to go
something
play
like
this
that.
game and then go watch Megalopolis, like you should be, you're basically another January 6th. You're causing another January 6th.
You need to
right
flip
now.
the bill for their medical when they have an aneurysm. You got to flip that bill. That's your
No,
responsibility.
The king will protect us. That's where the king comes into play.
Yeah.
You all make fun of the king, but that's where the king will defend our honor.
He's going to extradite you to be tried because he doesn't want to claim you for playing those two things. All right, so first up, based on what the jury has decided, the person who chose the best backlog accomplishment of Respawn and Friend games to play for the year, based on the jury, is Adam. Tomb Raider, Dave the
I'm
Diver,
okay
and
with that
Signals
because he was, yeah.
all got thumbs up. Very cool.
He's impartial, so I agree.
No problem. Next up, Chad. Technically at a 2.5. Minish Cap and Hellblade were thumbs up. Brawlhalla was like a sort of a thumbs up. I mean, it's kind of a nothing game, but it was fun enough. So not too bad. The person who only had 1 out of 3 selections that we felt like were worth a damn, being obviously Cozy. Lords of Shadow, great choice. I love it, Cozy.
What?
Keep up that energy. Kerbal Space Program. And plumbers don't wear ties.
Didn't Joel say that Kerbal Space Program was good?
No, he did not. He said he couldn't hear because his audio cut out, and he just agreed with what he just said something random.
We'll have to go back through the tapes and review that. To be certain.
Hey, Joel, is Kerbal Space Program good if nobody played it and we only had a 10-minute episode?
It's a game.
Yep, that's not saying it's good. So we have found Alexander Kozina guilty on the crime of picking awful fucking video games for us to play. So now here's the thing. What is sentencing? I think, Cozy, I'm going to give you some leniency. I'm a fair judge. I'm one of those fun judges who makes you like wear a sign outside for community service as your punishment. What I'm going to do is say you're on probation and we love you so much and you're great, so I don't want to be too harsh on you. But if next year you bring stinkers again, you will be thrown in prison. You will not be allowed to pick games anymore. You will have to pay a monetary fine. Things will be bad. I'm giving you a chance to correct your issues and become a better person in society. Can you agree to this?
I can agree to this. I will also say that my barf poll on Patreon of plumbers that included plumbers don't wear ties into it. I said this earlier, and I'll just say it again for the record. Generated a lot of interest. A lot of people showed up to that poll to vote for Plumbers Don't Wear Ties and some of the other games that didn't end up winning. Mm-hmm. You just did a poll
a lot of Canadian
where you put
IP
up a bunch of...
Go look on the back end.
No, I only voted in it once. Adam, you put up a poll recently where you asked people to vote between a bunch of witchcraft, Wiccan games. Only got 2 votes. People not really engaged in that. People not really motivated to, Pokemon go to the polls on that one. So I'm just saying, sometimes you need to go with a stunt pick to get the crowd rolling.
Sometimes you got to write in Harambe on the presidential election slip just for fun, right?
Yep.
Fine. Cozy, you're on probation. We will see you next year. Let's hope to God things get a little bit better.
To be fair, we do need to give Joel. We do need to give Joel opportunities to choose some of these
let's
games,
see if he fucks it up as bad as you. Is that what we're saying?
Maybe.
We're done, Chad.
Court is adjourned, and that brings us to Game On Game Show, the Game On Our Game Show play game called Game On, the gaming show on our game show, game. I would like to invite you to remember, Cozy, that I was not in charge of the previous segment. I was asked to be an adversary of yours by Adam. So now that you have control over who wins and loses this next trivia game, I want you to keep that in mind. Keep in mind, also, I am still your judge. I was playing a character that Adam wanted me to play, and he made me play. He held a gun to my head and asked me to kill you or 3 other copies of you.
Yep.
So today we are playing...
We're doing that. Cozy, take it away.
Today we are playing TMI with NPD for the year 2020. If this is your first time tuning in to TMI with NPD, we're actually getting quite towards the end here because within the span of a couple of years, we'll be at 2023. This is a game where I ask my fellow co-hosts to guess the top 10, but usually longer than that, best-selling games per the NPD group / Circana of a specific year. I give them hints of increasing specificity. They try to guess it before the other person. The rules for this particular TMI with NPD game are as follows. The Chad lock is still in play, which means after the second clue, Chad can ask that he be the only person that responds to that particular clue once for the entire game. Any sports game is out of play. We might have a bonus point involved with them if they come up. This year's Call of Duty is out of play. Grand Theft Auto 5 is out of play. And also, I'm adding this in new for this episode, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is out of play as well, because that game has shown up a lot on these recent lists. As usual, the list is expanded based on how many sports games are in the top 10, and this list is 12 entries deep. Are we ready?
Quick
yes,
question.
and just as a reminder for folks, this is unit sales with monetary value attached to them. So free-to-play games do not count on this list.
Quick question. Joel.
Yes.
If Joel, I don't know what the rules are. If Joel wants to play, I put his name down here so I can keep score. If Joel wants to answer these questions.
Joel, you are more than welcome to answer. Remember that you only get 2 guesses per game. We good? All right, let's go. Number 12, the 12th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD group / Circana is a game with a very similar name to a popular Super Nintendo game. It is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. It is a Mario game. More specifically, it is a compilation of
Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
That is correct. It is Super Mario 3D All-Stars, not to be confused with just Super Mario All-Stars without the 3D, which released on the Super Nintendo back in the day. That's 1 point for Chad. Number 11. The 11th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. For a bonus point,
Okay.
can you tell me the total number of courses that are in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe if we include the courses that were recently added to it via the Booster Course Pass?
42.
148.
Those are both incorrect. Joel, do you have any guesses?
50.
That is also incorrect. Y'all have one last guess.
69.
86.
That is incorrect.
38.
Joel's. I was going to say, very similar to a response that's already been given. It is not 69. It is actually 96. That is indeed the correct answer. Nobody got it correct, so no bonus points in that one, which means we're at number 10. The 10th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is a game that released on the eve of stay-at-home orders being issued across the United States. It is a whoops, nope. Sorry, I accidentally was reading a clue from another one. Clue number 2. A successor to this game is set to release next year.
Doom Eternal.
That is correct. It is Doom Eternal. That's 1 point for Adam. Number 9. The 9th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is an action-adventure game. It has a multiplayer mode that was released several months after its single-player component. It takes place.
Ghost of Tsushima.
That is correct. It is Ghost of Tsushima, which takes place in the year 1274. Number 8. The 8th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
A bonus point. Can you tell me what Grand Theft Auto 5's budget was at the time of its release? Because we're talking about some pretty big figures, I will give you the point if you're within $10 million.
$250 million.
Okay.
$120 million.
Okay.
$400 million.
Okay, those are all incorrect.
$300 million.
Incorrect.
$180 million.
Incorrect.
$500 million.
Also incorrect. You guys, both Chad and Adam, were very close. The actual answer is $265 million. We were off by about 15. Number 7. The 7th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is another action-adventure game. It is a game that features a
Final
Roman...
Fantasy VII Remake. Oh.
That is incorrect. It features a Roman numeral in its title.
Last of Us Part 2.
That is correct.
Wow.
You can give yourself a point for that. Number 6. The 6th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is an action role-playing game. It is...
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That is incorrect. It is the 12th mainline entry in its respective franchise. It is a game that partially takes place in Norway. And it shares the same namesake.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
That is correct. It is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The 5th
God, there have been 12
best-selling game.
Assassin's Creeds by then?
Yeah. The 5th best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is Madden NFL 21, which if you remember, was featured on this month's Patreon exclusive installment of RAF. For a bonus point, can you recall for me the theme of the category that featured Madden NFL 2021? Madden NFL 21. Anyways, Can you recall for me the theme of the category that featured Madden NFL 21 in the RAF
Bald as a
game we
baby.
played? That is a category from that game, but that is incorrect.
Yep.
Adam seems...
I know categories. I just can't think which one this one was. I remember the question. I just don't remember what category it was in.
Joel, do you want to hazard a
Talk
guess?
like a pirate.
I have no
Talk
idea.
like a pirate. Another category. You know what? I'll just go ahead and reveal that it was Ends in One, video games whose titles end in the number one.
That's right.
For remembering two categories, right down to the exact letter from that game, I will give both Chad and Adam a bonus 0.5 points for that.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
Number 4. The fourth best-selling game of the year 2020, per the NPD Group / Circana, is the fifth mainline entry in its respective series. Said series shares the same acronym
Animal
as
Crossing
another
New
friend.
Horizons.
That is correct. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing, you can abbreviate it as AC, which is the same acronym as Assassin's Creed. Number 3. Sorry, I need to burp. The third best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is NBA 2K21.
NBA 2K21.
For a bonus
it
point,
first.
can you tell me the name of the 2K-owned studio that developed NBA 2K2021?
Visual Concepts.
That is correct.
Visual concept.
Good job, Adam.
I said it first.
No, you did not.
Joel, you're
All right.
really falling behind, bud.
Excuse me. That was a sneeze.
If I'm being completely honest, my backbone got delivered, and so
I knew you were doing
Oh,
something
yeah.
down there.
Whoa.
I saw you down there.
All right, here we go. Number 2. The second best-selling game of the year 2020, per the NPD Group / Circana, is a returning game from last year's list. It's a remake of a game.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ooh, that is incorrect. It is a
That came
remake
out
of a
in
game
2020, dummy.
from the PlayStation 3 / Xbox 360 generation.
Call of
It is
Duty
also
Modern
a game.
Warfare 2.
That is incorrect.
Call of Duty Modern
Is-
Warfare.
That's it.
Is that your complete response?
It's the remake of Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2020.
I'll give it to Chad. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't being like, oh yeah, it's Modern Warfare the original. But yes, it is indeed. It is indeed Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, which is as high as it is on this list because it received Warzone, which of course we played together many a time in the past.
Baby.
And the number one best-selling game of the year 2020 per the NPD Group / Circana is this year's Call of Duty. Can you guess which it was?
Call of Duty. Call of Duty
Black
Black
Ops.
Ops. 4? 5? Cold
Black Ops 5 is
Black
what I said.
Ops. Cold
I
War?
will-
Is that
I'm
a
gonna
different
say
game than
that-
Black Ops, or is that a subtitle of Black Ops?
I'm going to say that Chad already said both of his guesses for this one before he got to the right answer. Chad, you still have one guess left. Sorry, Adam, you still have one guess left.
Wait, what did Chad say
Oh.
again?
I don't
I'm
know.
not saying
What did he
nope.
say?
Call
I
of
said-
Duty.
Modern Warfare Remastered.
No. Call of Duty. Let's say. Oh God, I can't remember. Is this? It's probably not right. Vanguard.
That is incorrect. Joel, you still have two possible guesses on this one. Can
doesn't
you
know.
guess what it is?
Is it Call of
say
Duty World War II?
No. Chad said what this one was, but he had already given out too many guesses
Black Ops
by that
4.
point, so I didn't allow it.
It's Cold War.
No, it is Black Ops 5, also known as Black Ops Cold War,
I said Black
also
Ops
known
5.
as...
That was my
Adam-
first guess. Was Black Ops 5?
No, but
You didn't say Cold War.
Oh.
You didn't say Cold War.
Yeah.
Also, this is
Yeah.
the most annoying of the Black Ops, because when they unveiled Black Ops 6, it was like, wait a minute, when did we get to 6? Where was 5? And it's like, oh yeah, 5 was Black Ops Cold War, but they did not call it 5 at the time. Some other quick highlights from the list. At the number 14 spot, Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers charting at the number 14 spot on this list. I mean, not too shabby, also not great. And number 15, it's debuting here on these lists, Spider-Man Miles Morales, which of course launched on the PS5 and also PS4. For next time, I just want to say this right here, right now. I feel a little bit... Sometimes you misspeak. I feel a little guilty about the fact that, one, I made you play Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but that's a whole other...
Thank God you feel remorse.
But I also feel guilty about the fact that half the games on this list were games that I had to give up bonus points for due to them being ineligible sports games or having been featured on many of these prior lists. And so I've decided, you know what? Because we're just 3 lists away from the end of TMI with NPD for now, I'm going to go big with our final 3 lists. Instead of going with the top 10/12 games per each year, the 2021, 2022, and 23 lists will go through all 20 games featured on each. So look forward to that in the coming weeks.
Lose, Adam.
Oh no, I won't.
You're not going to be able to rely on your Madden cover knowledge anymore.
I have a question for you, cousin.
Yes.
Where are... I knew Final Fantasy VII...
where's 7 Remake?
I know it would be on there because they're always like, we don't sell enough copies. But is it even in the top 20?
I'll go with you from 20 to 1. 20 is Red Dead Redemption 2, 19 FIFA 21, 18 Smash Bros. Ultimate, 17 NBA 2K20, 16 Minecraft, 15 Miles Morales, 14 Marvel's Avengers. Here we go. 13 Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
So yeah,
right
number
below
13.
where we started.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which
There's
is
a couple
why
games in there I'm shocked about.
That's, by the way, why for the final 3 lists I want to expand the list a little bit more, because once you get into the top 20, that's where things get really interesting. And that is TMI with NPD.
And that's it for our Game on Game show, and that is it for episode 370 of Respawn Aim Fire Zatarans. You have homework to do. Your homework is to play John Wick Hex. That is the game that Adam has held a gun to your head and said, hey, you should play a good game. Maybe. We'll see if John Wick Hex is a good game.
At worst, it's a 6
hours.
out of 10 and not a 1 out of 10. So there's that.
That is correct. That is correct. So yes, this game, that is our barf game for the month of October. It is 8 hours long, according to how long to beat. You can also do a completionist run in 20 hours if you want to platinum that game. That is your duty. Over on patreon.com/respawnaimfire. You can also go and check out our RAF game shows. So you can find out, what are they talking about when they say bald as a baby or ends with a 1 or talk like a pirate? Well, those are categories on the most recent episode of Rafferty, starring me, starring Adam, starring Joel, starring Alexander Kuzina, starring... No, Joel wasn't on this one, was he? Who was...
Yeah, Joel wasn't there, and it was John was there instead.
Who was that? John. John was there. That's right. John Hansen. And you can see his brand new Zero Nightmare Before Christmas dog hanging in the background of that video. So go check that out. You have exclusive access to that for the month of October. And everyone else who's like, I hate Respawn Aim Fire. They made me play stupid games like Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. You can go and get last month's episode for free on YouTube and Patreon, and that is Gaming Spooktober. No,
Gaming Athlon Fall Edition.
Horror.
It's spooky time.
Fall Edition is spooky time. Horror.
It is officially known as Gaming Athlon Horror Edition, if you want to look it up on YouTube. Yes.
So go check that out. It is free for everyone to look at and listen to and promote to your friends.
100%.
That's it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for just existing. If you didn't exist, you wouldn't hear me. And then my influence and my control over you and your choices in your life could never blossom. So thank you for existing and listening to my voice. And I shall now speak the activation phrase. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. Until next time, boobs, umbrella, pterodactyl, cream corn.